All right, great. Hey, everybody, thanks for joining us. We got Doug Dowell, Dave Rutherford, and John Rubino here. We're going to be providing a webinar series, 7-part, and we just wanted to do a quick promo to kind of explain to you what we plan to cover. The first promo here we've got for you is we really just want to show you some of the things we plan to talk about. And this is really centered around passive real estate investment. And so some of the things you want to think about, what you're doing, if you want to be in passive real estate investing, some of the ways you could do it, some of the resources that you can utilize to do it. So for our first part, we're just going to cover some generics, like, for instance, what is it? What are the differences between being an active investor in real estate and a passive investor in real estate? There's different ways you can invest passively, whether it be direct or indirect, which we'll talk about as well. There are several benefits to invest passively, and there's a lot of things that will take risk off the table when you look at passively investing. But there are some things too you need to think about, and you need to kind of discern and measure when you're taking into consideration if you want to be in the passive real estate investment business. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then really it's a matter of whether or not it's worth for you to take it on and whether you want to do it. And we'll talk a little bit more about that during the presentation as well. And then when we cover the 7 parts, the first part would be a separate presentation where we talk about your team. And so who are the people that are around you, including yourself, who are going to make you be successful in being a passive real estate investor, some of the things you need to think about and talk to, and those people you want to have on your team. Part 2 is going to be going into a discussion on the different types of real estate sponsors or the groups out there that are actually doing the active side of the business, and the folks that are going to be looking to have capital raised through yourself and others passively to help bring the money to the table in order for them to execute their project, execute the operations and management, and take on the active side of the project. So we'll talk a little bit about that, some due diligence on how to find those sponsors, and some of the things you want to think about from that perspective. The third part will go into the location. The location is really important because obviously, you want to know the markets you're going to be investing in. You want to know where the best markets are, why they're considered the best markets, some of the things you want to look at when you analyze those markets, and some of the due diligence you do in the location of your investment. So we'll cover that in depth in part 3. Part 4, let's see if I can bring that up. There we go. Are the types of real estate projects that you can invest in. There's single family, there's multifamily, there's opportunity zones, storage, different types of assets with self-storage. So we'll go into those and we'll kind of pick those apart and say, hey, what's the benefit of a development, new construction project, or a value add multifamily? So that'll be part 4, and that'll be a great session. Part 5 is really important because you got to understand how the money's put together. Not only the money you're bringing in, but the money that the sponsors are going to be going out to get in order to help with the majority of the costs, the majority of the expenses on their project. We call that the capital stack, and we'll go into that in depth in part 5 and give you the opportunity to understand how that's put together so you can see that as you start to analyze different types of projects. Part 6 is obviously very important. Due diligence. How do you look at a project? How do you look at the markets? How do you analyze the different aspects of an investment or a project? So we'll go through that and give you some pointers and help you and point you in the right direction. And then the last part, which is really, I think, the best, is the waterfall. It's the distribution schedule. And in the distribution schedule, you'll be kind of shown in different scenarios how your money gets back to you, how you make your profits, and how you can look at a specific breakdown in different tiers of how your money is returned, so that you can understand that, see what those returns look like, and really understand it from your investment standpoint. So we look forward to seeing you. And here's our contact info. We'll have our first part presented on March 1st. So you'll see more information from that. And Doug, I'll turn it over to you if you want to ask any questions or anything that I may have missed.
Yeah, John, I just wanted to kind of, for the benefit of the audience out there, John, who is this intended to help?
Yeah, great question. I think anyone in general that has a real passion or desire to want to invest in real estate, but they don't have the time, or they don't want to take on the headaches of active ownership, or they don't want to have to be doing this full time. They'd rather be out and doing their primary job or owning their business. So this is really for anyone that's really interested in getting into real estate investing, diversifying their portfolio, and utilizing some of that discretionary income or capital to place in different types of avenues, including passive real estate investing.
And John, big time, one area that most people may or may not know, isn't it true you can self-direct your retirement funds and invest in real estate through your self-directed vehicles?
Yeah, absolutely. You could use a 401k, you can use your Roth IRA. There's different mechanisms you can use. We'll have some folks that are going to be out on the your team part, which is part one, that'll talk a little bit more about that. But absolutely, it's a great way to move around some resources, maybe out of the stock market, given some of the volatility we're seeing, and utilize that for passive real estate investing or other alternative investment opportunities.
And finally, John, a lot of people are frozen in place right now. Why do you think they should still invest right now, even with all the uncertainty and all the things changing in the marketplace?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think real estate is our industry. We know that best. There's other great asset classes out there right now, but over the last, I'd say 6 months to a year, real estate has still been very stable in growth. A lot of the other alternative investments like we got Bitcoin, and you got energy, and you've got even the stock market has not had growth. It's actually had losses. So the ability to recoup those losses is going to be challenging given inflation. So I think real estate right now is really a proven asset class. And the fact that you could do it passively and still have an opportunity to understand that you got great growth and you're working with great operators is exciting. So I definitely think that's probably one of the main reasons we like to do it. So I think that's it, Doug. Anything else we got to cover?
No, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Excited to get this going.
Yeah, and we look forward to having folks out. And everybody, you have a great day. Thanks for your time.